Whew, tech fans, we actually made it all the way past 2015. It's 2016, and for the last 2 months, I've been trying out this new phone that I got from the people over at LG, and this is their brand new V10 phone. This thing's actually pretty awesome. I've had a lot of different phones over my time, and although this one's a little bit bigger in my hand, it's almost like having a note, it's still a really awesome phone that has a lot of nice features that I think that you guys out there who are fans of phones, you guys are going to think these are really pretty cool. Now I know that I'm not the biggest phone guy out there. A lot of guys out there, they specialize in phones. They know every detail like a watch. I'm not that up on it. I know more about PCs and that type of stuff, but hey, what the heck? I know what I like. So let's start out real quick. Let's talk about the specs, some of the features, and then I'll tell you guys what I think of what my top 5 things that I like about the V10. Under the hood of the V10, for the chipset, we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 808. Now, as far as CPUs go, this is a pretty interesting thing. It contains a quad-core 1.4 GHz Cortex-A53 and a dual-core 1.82 GHz Cortex-A57. The V10 is also made very rugged. It features 316L stainless steel sides, and it's wrapped in this entire DuraGrip coating that makes the thing very easy to hold on to. Also under the hood, we see 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of internal storage, and right now this thing's running on 5.1.1 Lollipop, but they are promising the upgrade to Marshmallow very soon. Now, some cool things about this is the back's completely removable, and underneath there you guys can see the battery and an SD card slot. Now, for those fans out there who like the option of a removable battery, LG is one of the only companies out there that are still doing this, and that makes it really cool because if you actually have another battery, instead of worrying about charge times, you can simply change it out and actually have 0 downtime and be up all the time on your cell phone. You can do the charging with the fast charge later. So those are pretty much the basic specs. If you guys want all the specs, I'll make sure I have a link down below for you guys who are diehards. You guys can check those out. Now let's talk about the design of the phone and some of the external features. Now, obviously, the very first thing you're going to see when you look at the LG V10 is this screen. But this screen's not only one screen, it's actually 2. The main screen is an IPS display that features 2560 by 1440 resolution, which equates to 551 pixels per inch if you're into that kind of stuff. Now, it also has a second screen, which you can use for, getting alerts with your notifications, doing all kinds of stuff like that. And the cool thing about it is that even when your main screen is off, you can still access this. And you can also customize what the name of it is, put your signature on there or something like that if you so desire to do so. And like you guys can see right here, my phone is called Tech of Tomorrow. Now, for you fans out there who have been following and using LG phones, you know that usually they have a curved design. The V10 though offers a completely flat design, so it's something different. And I gotta be honest with you, this screen is really great. It offers a nice viewing area, which is clean, bright, even in daylight it looks good. And this is great when you wanna check your email, watch videos, and do all that kind of stuff. So overall, I have to say that the screens on here are pretty cool. Now, because the phone's so big, operating it one hand is a little bit difficult. You guys can see, I kind of got short and I can't get my thumbs around there. So as far as one-handed usage goes, I don't know if it's going to be all that great, but it's okay. Now, that secondary screen, it's cool. It's in a weird place. I wish you could kind of move it around and do whatever you want with it. But the very fact that it's there, it's kind of cool. I think you guys know that Samsung, they have their Edge, whatever. It's kind of similar to that same type of thing, only it's located in the top instead of on the edge. But overall, it's a new feature and it's pretty cool. Although I have to say, in all fairness, having that secondary screen is really cool for accessing and going through all your apps. It makes it really easy to do, makes it simple. You don't have to go through a bunch of, it's very straightforward. So I have to give credit to LG and the V10 on that aspect because it's something that is very easy. And for those people out there who like simple, hey, simple is the key with that second screen. The back of the V10 is also something very cool. Not only does it have that nice DuraGrip surface, which allows you to hold that phone and hold it, quite nice without falling out of your hand, it also has the 16 megapixel camera, the power on button, the volume control, and also the flash. Now, Some cool things about this is the on button also doubles as a fingerprint scanner. That's right. So if you guys want to keep that feature on your phone and lock people out, this actually works 9 times out of 10. So it's actually pretty cool. And this is one of the very first phones from the people over at LG to actually have this on it. And another cool feature about the power button is if your screen's off, you can just simply tap that bad boy and your screen comes back on. You can actually do that with the screen itself, and you can set up multiple different ways to tap on the front of the screen to access your phone. You can also set up the volume control so that when you double tap it, it can go directly into an app. So that's another cool feature that's on the LG V10. On the top, we see the second mic and the IR blaster, which you use for controlling your peripherals. And on the bottom of the V10, you get the 3.5mm audio jack. Now, this audio jack is something totally different than most phones out there. If you use your phone for audio and it's your main source of audio, you're going to love this feature. It's a full-blown digital audio converter. That's right, this is no joke. It's a nice piece of audio equipment. So if you want to listen to this through your headphones or run into speakers, now your phone can get up there and have nice, high-quality audio through that. We also see the last of the mics and the micro SD slot, which are all located on the bottom of the V10. Okay, so those are pretty much all of the fun, nice facts that people want to know about the phone. Like I said before, if you guys want more in-depth stuff, obviously you guys can get that with the link below. Obviously things 4G and all that great stuff you guys come to love about phones. But I want to talk to you guys about the top 5 things that I just really dig about this phone after having it for 2 months. And the first of those is the camera. Just gotta say, this camera is probably one of the best that you can get on any phone out there right now. Now, obviously coming up to CES in a week, there might be some even cooler stuff coming out there, but right now, the 16 megapixel camera on this phone is just incredible. It offers many features that make it rival a DSLR. That's right. So if you're a person who uses your phone for videography or you use it for just pictures and your phone is your main like audio and video source, you're gonna be very happy with some of the features that come with this. So like I said, folks, my #1 favorite feature of the V10 is the 16 megapixel lens that's the rear camera. Now this thing features an f-stop 1.8 aperture. It also has optical image stabilization, which means if you're taking pictures and you're shaking a little bit, it'll actually help balance a picture and make it look clear. Now some of the absolute things about this that make it stand out, like I said, and make it more like a DSLR are the fact that you can manually adjust almost everything on this camera, which gives you, so many different things that you can do that have never been able to do on a phone. This thing is the closest that I've ever seen to a DSLR because of those things. It works fairly well in low light. Sometimes some of the features about it in low light make it so it's not the best, but you can adjust it any way you want to keep making the picture better and better. But even the automated features on the phone using them makes it a really good camera. But if you're a person out there and you like getting all in depth, you're going to love these features. There's also another feature, and you can only do this in 1080p and below when you're filming, but there's actually a way when you're filming where you can make the image more stable so that it looks like you're using a tripod, which is really cool. Because holding the camera in your hand and filming, that can be a little bit difficult. Using a gimbal or something like that makes it much more simpler, and with that particular feature, it just makes this thing stand out quite a bit. Now, obviously, you guys know, we have a camera, we use all of our stuff, but for portability and doing a lot of stuff, especially at CES, you guys are going to be seeing me use this a lot. And I do mean a lot. Now, there are also 2 other cameras on. There are actually 2 5 megapixel cameras located on the other side. And a cool thing about this is there's this new feature called multi-view, and you can actually use all 3 cameras at the same time. And you can get some pretty crazy stuff using the multi-view. It's something that I don't think any other phone out there has. There may be, like I said, I'm not the biggest phone guy in the world, but I haven't seen it yet. So one cool feature about the front 5 megapixel cameras is that each one is different and offers something unique. The first is an 80-degree standard lens, and the second is a 120-degree wide-angle lens. And the cool thing is that you can toggle between the 2 within the software. Obviously, the camera on the V10 is just amazing. The ability to operate everything, the white balance features, honestly, the camera itself could be a total review, and maybe I'll come back to that because the camera itself offers so many things on here that I could probably do a whole standalone video just showing you guys screenshots, showing you guys video. Now, obviously, sharing huge, large files on social media is going to be a problem. But with the LG V10, you get editing software and everything that's already built into the phone, so you don't need to download another app just to do this. And the V10 has some of the coolest editing software I've seen yet. So whether you want to cut that thing down, change it around, a lot of things you can do all within the confines of the V10. And this is something for those people out there, like I said, who use their phone for videographing or pictures, and it's their main thing. This can be a second camera that really kicks ass for multiple reasons, as you guys can see. My second favorite feature of the V10 just has to be the main screen. This main screen is so clear and so bright, and like I said before, it offers 551 pixels per inch, so you guys know it has a nice, dense, clear picture. Now, if you use your phone all the time for watching videos and doing that kind of stuff, you will really appreciate this 5.7 inch screen. It's also made of that really tough, Gorilla Glass 3, so you know it's going to be tough stuff. And also with a resolution of 2560 by 1440, you can watch all of your favorite stuff in crispy HD. My third favorite feature is the battery and the battery life, as well as the quick charging. Now, the battery inside is a 3000 milliamp battery, so you know it's going to last a pretty good long time. But honestly, my results from using this thing daily is that in the middle of the daytime, about 4 hours into it, I'm having to recharge the phone. If I'm watching movies and doing all kind of stuff, I gotta say the battery life, it can be better. But if I'm just using it as my phone and not doing all that stuff, oh yeah, it'll last all day, all the way a little bit actually into the next day. But if I'm using it as a multimedia device, I gotta say that really limits the battery time. But the fact that you can remove the battery and put in another battery, come on. Buying a secondary battery is not that much money, and like I said before, you have that one on hand, you can slap it in there and you have zero downtime. Also, this little adapter right here, look away from you guys, the little fast charger, in 40 minutes, your phone can be 50% charged. So, and I've seen an instance where basically maybe like an hour and 10 minutes, you can have your phone completely charged and up and running again. So that's really cool. There's also things out there, like if you get your little battery charged, you can always have your secondary battery always charged and with you. But I have to say though, the battery, the ability to remove the battery, and the way you can fast charge are all great things about the LG V10. Okay, so now my fourth favorite feature is the fact that this thing is very well built. It actually has a military grade of 810, and the 810 is basically their shock resistance, which means that this thing can pretty much be dropped a little bit without breaking. Now, if you go throwing the phone or dropping it off any high-end thing, all that stainless steel and the Duragrip and all that stuff won't mean anything. But it's a pretty well-built phone all in all. You're gonna have to pretty much, drop it pretty far. Like dropping on the floor, dropping it like this, stuff like that. Even dropping on a wood floor, standard stuff like that. I've dropped this thing a few times. It keeps going. The cool thing is though, is I actually ordered a really high-end case, so now I'll enclose this great built phone inside of some armor, which will make it even more durable. So at the end of the day, 2 layers of glass, stainless steel frame, Duraframe back. All in all, the V10 is pretty damn tough. And the last, but most definitely not least favorite feature is that second screen. Now, some people out there I've heard that they say that they feel it's a little bit obtrusive, but me, I like it. I wish there were a few more other features about it. I wish you could move it around and all that stuff, but the ability to access all your apps, to be able to see your time and date and all that stuff without having to actually turn your phone on is a pretty cool thing. It also saves battery life. And I guess in essence, with the 5.7 inch screen and the secondary screen, I guess altogether you could say you almost have a 6-inch screen, right? It's kind of that way. But that secondary screen, like I said, is very, very convenient. If you're out and about and you don't want to use your battery, you even see you're running out of battery life, a lot of the things that you can do all right through that top secondary screen. And that's something cool. So I don't know what you guys think, but if any of you guys actually own this phone and you have it, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. The great camera, the great build quality, the battery life. I mean, all these things at the end of the day just make the LG V10 a pretty awesome phone. And a feature I just really want to stress upon one more time before I bounce out of here is that this 3.5 millimeter audio jack with that built-in high-end audio DAC is really, really cool. I don't know if any other phone, like I said, out there has it, but for audiophiles like myself and for people out there, you have a nice set of headphones. With the V10, you're actually going to notice it. I'm Elric. You guys are watching Tech of Tomorrow. The next video will be at CES, so peace out. We love you, and we'll see you again.